Hi, Meg here, and Howie. I know some of you have been asking how Howie's training's been doing and what we've been doing with him to get him to be a great equine partner here. So I thought I'd kind of update you on his progress. Howie, of course, is very skittish. He's only 8 months old. He hasn't been handled much and certainly hasn't had much halter training. The last thing I want to do is to come with him with a halter and rope and teach him that anybody that approaches him like that is going to have a halter and rope slammed over his head and dragged to wherever he doesn't want to go. And you can see right now he's actually being very curious because my back is to him and he doesn't feel threatened at all. So the name of the game is give me your two eyes, have a look at me, and we can have a conversation. Otherwise, I'm going to put pressure on you, make you feel a little uncomfortable until you turn and look at me. But this is great with what he's doing right now. You can see his ears. He's very comfortable. But let's see what happens when I turn my energy and focus toward him. Hi, Howie. How are you? I love the fact that he's given me his two eyes and he's actually reaching out. Of course, the last thing I'm going to do is reach out and pounce on his face. He's sure that's what humans are going to do. So I'm going to kind of change it up a little bit, trick him, and I'm just going to walk away and ignore him. As you can see, that's totally blown his mind. And now he's not sure what to do. So what I want him to do is learn to look at me with two eyes. So how do I do that? Well, I'm going to put a little pressure on him. And when he offers to stop and look at me, there's the two eyes. He's actually being drawn into me. And I take the pressure totally off. So we've been doing this about 4 days now. So he's understanding very quickly that to not have me stare at him, move around, make him feel uncomfortable, all he's got to do is turn and look at me. And now he's actually giving me a little taste sample in my hand here, which I'm just letting him play and explore. What do you think, Howie? So, I'm going to see if I can move his hind end around. I want his eyes to still look at me while I put some pressure on him. So I'm going to circle around to his hip. And he's learned that if he turns and looks at me, all the pressure comes off. My intention is going back to his hip and asking him to move, and all pressure comes off when he turns and looks at me. So I'm going to try the other side by circling and looking at his hip. And as soon as he makes an effort to move and look at me, I take all the pressure off. Very good. All pressure comes off. And one of the biggest releases I could do is actually walk away from him. So this is about as exciting as watching paint dry, but this is a very crucial moment in his training because I want him to understand there is a way to get away from the pressure. He doesn't have to always feel uncomfortable with people in here. And the best thing he can do is turn and look at me and give me two eyes and those two cute ears, and then we can start to have a conversation. I can ask him to back up, to move sideways, to come further into me, to slow down, to speed up. But if he's not looking at me and he's not paying any attention to me, then we are really not having a two-way conversation. So, you know, it was interesting as I was working with him, I was thinking this is a lot like our relationship with God. You know, God wants to have a conversation with us. He doesn't want it to be one way. And so when we give him our attention, our two eyes, our two ears, he can lead and direct us and things go really smoothly. But you know, there's times where maybe we aren't listening and we're not interested in what God has to say and where he's leading us. And you know what he does? He kind of puts a little pressure on us, like I did with Howie. He may move our feet around. He may lead us to become out of breath, or maybe our work we're doing just feels futile, or we're just hitting a lot of dead ends and not feeling good about things. But you know, when we turn and we give God our attention and ask him for help, he immediately releases that pressure, just like I did for Howie, because his ultimate goal is to have a relationship with us. So more updates coming from Howie. Thank you guys for watching. See you soon.